Hello, boys and girls. We're going to practice some office skills together. Okay, here's some common office tools that you might have at home, and I'm going to show you how to use them properly. This is a stapler, and sometimes the stapler runs out of staples. To replace the staples, you can do two things. You open up this right here. You hold the silver part on the bottom like this, and then you take the top and you just pull it up like this. There's a spring-loaded thing. Don't let it go or it'll smash your fingers, okay? So open it and pull it all the way back. Make sure you hold it down because otherwise it could snap and smash your fingers. And then right in here is where the staples go. I have some backup staples here, and I'm going to slide them right in there. This one broke apart. I'm going to move it forward. I'm going to add this piece. They're very fragile. They break very easily. You put them in there, and then you very carefully close it. Let that piece right there touch the back of the staples, and then you got to snap it back like that. And then it's ready for stapling. Let's take some papers. I have some papers here, and I'm going to staple them together. First, I'm going to make sure that the pages are all nicely overlapping each other so it looks just like one piece of paper instead of many. If I have them like this and I staple them together messy like this, they will stay looking messy. So make sure they all overlap nicely. And then you're going to put a staple 1 inch from the corner, like right here, 1 inch from the corner at a 45-degree angle. So imagine that this is kind of like a triangle up here in the corner, 1 inch from the tip of the corner. That's where you're going to place your staple. You're going to put it in there like this, and you push down with 2 hands, press, and the staple is in. Okay? Now, if you accidentally stapled the wrong corner, oh my, what do? Well, you use your staple remover to get it out. This is the staple remover, and there's the staple. And you're going to, it has like these claws, these jaws, and it's going to eat and bite into that staple. And when it does that, it pulls it out. And then the staple is out, and you can throw it away. And then the paper now has holes in it, but at least they're not stapled together anymore. So that's stapling. The next thing I'm going to show you is how to use a 3-hole puncher. This is a big one from Mrs. O'Connor's office from the workroom. And this one, because it has a big handle, it has a lot of leverage. The longer this handle is, the more power you can exert on it. And we're going to use this. When you have a big stapler like this, you can do a big pile of papers. But at home, we usually have hole punchers that are only very small, and so they don't have a lot of leverage. So the most you can really do at home is maybe 3 or 4 papers. You're going to put the papers all again nicely lined up and overlapping each other, and you're going to put them in here, and you're going to make sure that the bottom of the paper sits right here on this little ledge. There's a little ledge down here. Do you see this? The bottom paper should touch the bottom of that so that the holes get into the right place. If it's not touching that, and then you push down, and then you have holes in there. Then you can put those into a binder. This is a 3-ring binder, and the way to open up a 3-ring binder is to pull back these tabs and then just pull them apart. And then you can put your things in there, you snap them shut, you fold those up, and you close the binder, and you're done. That's how you can file things in a binder. Sometimes these staplers or hole punchers get really full, and the way to empty them is to open up the bottom of them, and lo and behold, that's where all the confetti is. So if you need confetti for a party or something, this is where you'll find the confetti, right? It's right there on the bottom of the hole puncher. You can also add them to the compost or just throw them away. But don't put them in the recycle bin because they're too small for recycling, okay? So you can add them to the compost or you can use them for confetti at a party. All right, I don't have a trash can here. Let me see. No, I don't have a trash can. So that's the hole puncher. All right, the next thing I'm going to show you is how to sharpen a pencil. So save your broken off pencils. Remember, the way to take good care of pencils, not letting them drop on the ground, because then the lead breaks. So when you have a pencil, you're going to set the pencil sharpener to the right size hole. You're going to stick it in there, and you have to hold the pencil. If you don't hold it, it will just spin around, okay? And it'll actually cause this tip to not be even. You've got to hold it, and the sharpener is going to turn the pencil that way. And to get a real nice sharpening, you want to hold the pencil and turn it this way. So the sharpener goes this way, and you want to turn the pencil this way. Okay, so when I'm doing that, I'm going to turn it this way, and that way I get a perfectly sharpened pencil. All right, and then down here is where all the pencil sharpening things are, and then you can just throw those in the trash, and they can also go in the compost. So add that to the compost. And the next thing I'm going to show you is how to write a note. So now I have a nice sharp pencil. Here's a notebook, and this is a special kind of notebook. It has something called a perforation. Do you see these little lines right here? This means that the papers are perforated. Does it say that on here anywhere? It doesn't. Oh, yep, it does. See right here? It says perforated pages, perforated pages. That means they're easy to rip out, and I'm going to show you how to do that. So here's one that was already. So there's two ways to rip them out of here. You can just do this, but then it looks really messy, right? So we don't want to have messy looking paper. You want to rip the paper along the perforation, and you can see it there. I don't know if you can see it, but I am going to fold the paper on that perforated line, and I'm going to press down all along it, and then I'm going to fold it back. I'm going to put my finger at the top, and as I'm pulling it down like this, I'm going to move my finger, and I'm going to rip it off along the perforated line. And look at the difference. This is just ripped out, and this one is ripped out along the perforation. See how much nicer and cleaner that is? So this is how you properly rip a paper out of a perforated envelope, or a notebook. Sorry about that. Okay, and then I can write a note. I can write a note like I always write the date, right? Today is September 29th, and I could write, Dear Judy, and thank you for inviting me, and so on. And I can just write my note, right? And then I'm going to write your friend, comma, Chef Marino, right? You always want to sign your letter. So you're going to write a note, okay? And then you need to put it in an envelope. And the way to put it in an envelope is to fold it so that it fits into the envelope. So this is a long envelope. It's too long to fold it this way. So I'm going to fold it into thirds. Okay, so I'm going to fold it up, from the bottom up a third, and from the top down a third, like this. See, and now it's going to fit into the envelope. I'm going to turn it over, open up the flap, stick my note in there, and then I can lick it. If it's a licking kind of envelope, or this one actually has a little tape on it, and then you press it down, and you start from the middle, and you push it out. You push it out like this, okay? Then you're going to write your return address. The return address is already printed on this one, but I could add my name to it, Chef Marino. That's who it came from. And then I'm going to write it to Judy Stokes. I'm making up this name. She lives as 123 Elm Street in St. Louis, Missouri. And the zip code is 63110. I'm just making that up. But you notice the return address goes up here, and then the address that I'm sending it to goes here. Now, I don't have a stamp, but if I had a stamp, it would go right here. Okay, so I'm going to draw a stamp there. That is where the stamp would go. Okay, and then you can take it to the post office or put it into a mailbox or put it in the mailbox by your house. Now, when you receive mail, you need to, let's say you're the Judy Stokes and you're receiving this mail. It's like, hey, I got a letter. There are many ways to open up an envelope, but you don't want to just rip the envelope open. Okay, so you see there's these little flaps here on the ends where there's no sticky parts. That's where you start. So you could use scissors and kind of cut them open like this, or use a paper opener. Sometimes you can use a pencil or a pen and just stick it in there and just kind of open it this way. You want to try and only rip it open along the top, and then you can remove the letter. Okay, so that's how you open up an envelope. Never open mail that isn't written for you. Only open the letters that you have permission to open. Okay, what else was I going to show you? Oh, I'm going to show you how to fold and tear paper. So let's say I got this and I needed some notebook paper. I needed to write like a shopping list or a little to-do list for myself, and I can't find any paper, but I noticed that the note has a lot of white paper on the bottom, so I could use this part right here. I could repurpose it for writing notes or something like that. So now I want to tear this bottom third off so I can use it to write my shopping list. So what am I going to do is I'm going to first fold it, make a really nice strong crease on it. So I'm going to fold it and I'm going to push down, maybe even with my fingernail, push it down like this, then fold it the other way. Again, push down really firmly. And then just like detaching from a perforated notebook, you're going to put your finger at the top corner there, and then you're going to, carefully pull it back like this. And you see it's a little bit tricky, so you have to do it slowly. But that is how you can then tear a piece of paper off of a bigger piece of paper. And now I have a little piece of paper that I can use to do things like write shopping list. So if there are things that we need to get for groceries, I can write them on my shopping list. So let's say we need milk and bagels, eggs, bread, right? So whatever I need, I can write it on the shopping list. And you can start helping by writing the shopping list at home. Another thing you can do is write to-do lists. And I like to write my to-do list new every day. So here's my to-do list for today. I write the date at the top, and then I make these little boxes right here. And then I write down what it is that I need to do. And when I'm finished with it, like right now I am doing this one, make office skills video. When I'm finished making the video, I will just check off the box, meaning it's done. Okay, and that was it. Oh, one more thing I wanted to show you. And that is another thing you can do to help out at home. Maybe you have a calendar planner like this. It's going to be October soon. Or maybe you have a calendar that's hanging on the wall in your kitchen, perhaps. And every time you have an event, like a practice for sports or a school event or a dentist appointment, you can write them on there. So I always tell my family and my kids, I said, if you have a soccer meet or a cross-country meet, be sure to write down when it is and where it is. So, for example, if David has a meet on Thursday at 4 p.m., he's going to write 4 p.m. Cross-country meet. Okay, and then it will be on the calendar, and then the whole family can see that. I also wrote on here what kind of dress-up days we have for Spirit Week. So let's see, we had Tie-Dye Tuesday today, When I Grow Up Wednesday, Throwback Thursday, and Formal Friday, right? Those will be days in October. So those are the kinds of things you can write on the calendar for your family and for yourself. These are all great office skills to have, boys and girls. I hope you enjoyed, and I hope you get to practice these things at home. And all right, you can be a secretary. Talk to you soon.